Alright class, fine. Girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm good evening to one and all. Okay, as usual, myself Shabnam from the Code Ark, and we are here at the day 12 of our Python series and the day 50, it's like a half century today, of our full stack web development series. Okay, fine. Hoping you all are fine, working, studying, practicing back at home, whatever you do. Let's start for the day today. Before that, let's have a quick recap of what we have learned yesterday. The program is right here with me. We started with loops. We studied the two types of loop, for loop and the while loop. Am I right? Fine. For loop also comes with its variation like for, else, and even while loop comes with its variation like while and else. And before that, even we need to understand the concept of loop. Any programming language achieves a repetitive task using loop. Is that okay? Fine. Cool. Thank you. Any programming language achieves a repetitive task using loop so that we don't have to write the same piece of code over and over again and unnecessarily increase the length of the program, make the performance poor, so on and so forth. Is that okay? Fine. Alright. In the end, somewhere in the end of the class yesterday, I think we were also talking about, if I'm not wrong, 1 minute. Okay, nested loops, correct? We were also talking about the nested loop. That was nothing but a loop inside the loop, and most importantly, we were talking about the range function yesterday, how for loop was using it. Is that okay? Cool. Okay, good. Let's start for the day today. I stopped at a question in the class yesterday. This was the point we discussed last yesterday, that if everything that while does even for can do, then what is the difference between the two? Am I right? जैसे कि for example, let me come here. Say for I in range say 1 to, I'm writing 11 because I want to print 10. Okay, so I write print I. So let me run this code, and you see numbers from 1 to 10 has been printed. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and the same thing I can even achieve by while loop. So let me initialize some counter variable before the loop starts, because this is how while works. I say while this variable is less than or equal to 10, just print I. And before moving on to the next loop, make sure you increase the counter by 1. Okay, you can write this in a shorthand way, that is I plus equal to 1. Both of it is valid. Okay, so let me quickly run this. Okay, so again 1 to 10 got printed, but this time using the while loop. Am I right? Fine. Now the primary difference between the two is Python. People, Python, याद रखिए, this statement, this concept today we are learning never to forget throughout our full stack career. Understood? ये बात जिससे हमने आज लेक्चर स्टार्ट किया, हम इसे इस तरह ग्रास्प कर रहे हैं पूरा करियर भर, फुल स्टैक का करियर भर ना भूलने के लिए. ओके, पाइथन मेक्स यूज ऑफ फॉर लूप्स exclusively for sequence structure. Okay, for sequence structure. Now when I say sequence structure, means I'm talking about list, dictionary, set, tuple. Alright, yeah, you can consider string also, but these are the 4 collection data types who are also called as iterative structure or the sequence structure. Fine. So let's see the difference between the two with the help of an example. Those who did not understand the meaning of this point which I wrote in comment, slowly try to understand. Say A is a list and it contains these numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. Okay. Let me run this and let me print it. Yeah, so this is how A looks like. Okay, now there are two ways I can, you see, notice one thing. If I write print A, A got printed but as a list, am I right? That is inside opening closing square bracket. I hope people could see that. When you said print A got printed, but look at the format of the output, that is as opening closing square bracket. I don't want to inform the user that A is a list structure behind or a set structure behind. Maybe I don't want to make this output so complicated that my end user forced to think upon it. You got my point? ठीक है, वो लिस्ट है, वो स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट में क्यों है, वो राउंड ब्रैकेट में आउटपुट क्यों आता है. आई डोंट वांट माय end user, my client, my user to break the head behind it. So look what I do. I make this output little more readable. So I say for I in, this time not range, like I use range up. Okay, this was one way we have used for loop, people. The other way of using the for loop is use for loop over this iterative sequences. This time for I in A. Now who is A? A is a list. Okay, just for a moment, if I could copy this code in my Word file. Okay, or let me use the same one. 1 minute, let me use somewhere here. Okay, so this is my list and this is my piece of code for I in A. One moment please, some formatting stuff. And I say here print I. Now the moment you run a loop over A, who is a list, what is the first value of I when the loop starts, 1 minute. Okay, I'm using this arrow mark here. Okay, the first value of I when the loop start is 20. Okay, if you could see my arrow mark here, right? So in loop number 1, I is equals to 10. That means the first member of the list. Okay, fine. The sequence increment, and in loop number 2, I slide a value towards a left from 10. So I automatically now becomes 20. Are you understanding? Fine. So I automatically becomes 20. Okay. Similarly, in loop number 3, I slides a value one more towards the right side of the list because the default traveling is from left to right. Is that clear? The default traveling is from left to right. So first value of I was 10. By sliding one unit to the right side, it becomes 20. Then I takes the value of the third data item, that is 30. Okay, fine. I may not be so correct here in putting this arrow marks properly, but I hope you understand that. ठीक है. So तीसरे loop में I ले लेगा value third element का, that is I is equal to 30. Okay, similarly in ऐसा चलते चलते this way, in loop number 10, I will take the last value, which is nothing but 100. Okay, now since after 100 there is no more values in the list left, this was considered to be EOL, people, means end of list. Therefore when I increments one more to slide to the right, it returns a null pointer. That means no element left ahead to slide right. Got it? Okay, it returns a null pointer. This will be the condition to come out of the loop. This is the end of the list found. भाई आप लिस्ट के एंड तक पहुंच गए हो, अभी आई को और बढ़ा के कौन सा वैल्यू लिया जाएगा? करेक्ट, इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. सो द लास्ट आइट्रेशन, दैट इज 10, विल टेक द वैल्यू 100. ऑलराइट, फाइन. सो दिस इज हाउ वी यूज फॉर लूप इन अ sequence or an iterative structure like a list. Fine. Let's put this in the form of code and have our hand practically into action. So this is my list and I say print A, but after that I run a loop and this time I say print I. Okay, fine, good. So in the first loop I was 10, 10 got printed. In the second loop I was 20, 20 got printed. Third loop में I is 30. By sliding one member to the right side in the list, it takes the value 30. Again by sliding one member to the right of the list, it becomes 40. Again by sliding one member to the right of the list, I gets the value 50. again by sliding one member to the right, I gets the value 60, this way 70, this way 80, this way 90, but by sliding one member to the right, I gets 100, but after getting initialized to 100, when I tries to slide one member to the right side, this was end of the list found. So that will be the condition for us to break and come out of the loop. Is that okay? That's what I said, Navin. Fine. In English you want me to repeat that again? Okay, fine. Which point, by the way, I think you are telling me? I'm not able to understand which point exactly. Okay, fine. I speak it randomly again. If that's clear, better. Okay, see, this is what I told you. When you run a counter variable over any list or any kind of sequence structure, people, this kind of iterative structure, list, dictionary, set, or a tuple, right? So counter variable is not initialized to any 1 or 2 to start the loop, correct? Like the range function has done. In that case, the counter variable always takes the first value of that list or set or tuple to start the loop. Clear? So that's what I told you. Now when this loop runs, loop number 1 will have value of I initialized to 10. Now what is the condition to check and come out of the loop? 10. Is this the end of the list? No. Am I right? So what to do? It will slide one member to the right in the next loop and take the other value, which is 20. Are you getting it now? Fine. So in loop number 2, I slides a member right in the list and takes swallow, people, takes that next value 20 and get assigned to itself. What is the condition to come out of this loop? 20 is the end of the list reached. Got it? Is the end of the list found or reached? No, it is yet not. Fine. So loop number 3 will make I to slide one more member to the right in the list and take the next value present. Fine. So loop number 3 will have I initialize itself to the next member 30. Now clear? But check, have you reached the end of the list this way by taking value of the next member? No, 30 is not the end of the list yet. Am I right? So the loop again continues. This will be iteration number 4. I will slide one member to the right and it will take the next value initialized to itself, that is 40. So in loop number 4, I becomes 40. Navin, are you getting it now? Okay, are you getting it now? Fine. So this way, when it will be the turn of loop number 10, I will slide a member to the right and take the value 100, correct? And it will take the value 100. Fine. Okay. After that, of course, loop number 11 will happen. Loop number 11, यहाँ तक आपका control आएगा. I said the control will definitely come till here. But in loop number 11, if I slide one member to the right side, there is no member found here because it was the end of list. This will be the criteria or a condition to come out. Is that okay? All of us clear, people? Now this is something that you can't do directly with while loop. Okay, all that while loop can do, it can play with the index number, not directly with the sequence structure. Okay, fine. So this is an exclusive use of the for loop, especially in Python. For loops are meant for this kind of sequence structures or an iterative structure in Python. Right? Fine. Okay, so this was our duty. That's what we did. Now suppose I want to print only, let me say some numbers are like this here. 35, 52, 75, 81, 93, 66. Okay, but I want to print only those values in the list who are multiples of 5. Are you understanding my point? No, I don't want to list every item or every member of this list. Only those members who are a multiple of 5 or who are divisible by 5. So how would you do that? For I in A, now I know the first value of I is going to be 10. Right? No, do not print I. Print I only on this condition. If I is divisible by 5. Am I right? Hoping you understand. I need to indent this line because this is a statement to be printed under if, correct? Right, so this is a condition. Now don't print I in each loop. Only if this condition is true in a loop, the member must be printed. Is that okay? The list element should be printed. So I, now come on, give me the dry run. The first value of I is 10. Is 10 divisible by 5? Yes, it is. So it will be printed. Second value of I, 20 is divisible by 5, 35 is divisible by 5, 40 is divisible by 5. But 52, 66 aren't divisible by 5, so these two will be omitted out. 81, 93 will also be omitted out. Let's check. I think I need to rerun this line number 15 and then run the loop. Okay, fine. You could see, so this time the list elements are only 10, 20, 35, 40. After that, 50 to 66 were omitted to be printed or from printing, and 75 and 100 were directly considered, correct? Is that okay? Fine. So this is one example like how you can implement an if structure inside the for loop, or even you can make it nesting a loop under another loop and so on. Hoping people are understanding what am I talking here. Clear? Chaliye, this was an example of list. Now let's take some set. Okay, say B is a set here. Because it's a set, it will be created in a curly bracket. This is a set of some cities, say Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai and Pune. So let me run this. Now I want to if I say like this, print B, you look how the output has been printed this way, but I don't like the format of printing it. So let me print these all values in a set using loop. So for I in B, now you should be able to understand, you must be in a state to understand the first value of I is going to be Mumbai. The next value of I is going to be Delhi. Third value of I is going to be Kolkata, fourth Chennai, fifth Pune. So when you say print I in each loop, the current value of I is going to be printed. Okay, so if I print it, you look, this looks a little neat format. Am I right? This looks a little neat format. Correct? Instead of just showing them the output in quotes and brackets, okay, I would prefer to do it this way. Alright, and then you can experiment a lot of things. Only the names of the cities that begins from M or which are 6 letter in length, or maybe just the cities whose length is more than 4 character. Like if you could see, Pune is just 4 but not more than 4, right? So I want to print only if length of I, am I right? If length of I is more than 4 character, only then print I. I hope you're understanding my point here. Correct. So if I could do that, okay, Pune is out from the output. Is that okay? Pune is out from the output. Or maybe I just want to list those strings who have spaces in their names, or maybe who have upper cases in their names, something like that. So is upper, is lower, all those sorts of stuff that you can give it a try here. It's like for each in JavaScript. Yes, Shreyas, almost. Is that okay? That would be a correct comparison. The way JavaScript offers you for each element in a particular structure, we have simple for I in Python here. Is that okay? All of us here? Good. Okay, let's take another structure that's called as a tuple this time. Okay, so T is my tuple. Tuple is made up of some numbers 1, 2, 3 and some strings like cat, dog and cow. Is that okay? Okay, so if I could say print, what happened? Indentation error. Okay, let me ignore that. Okay, fine. So if I just say print this tuple, alright, you could see this is how the way it is getting printed. No, but I don't want it to be printed in quotes and commas and round braces and all in the form of tuple, rather in a human readable way. So let me run the loop here for I in T. Firstly, I just say print I. Okay. Fine, this is how it goes. Okay, if you want to print only integers, so check if it's an integer. If the data type is integer, only then print it. If the data type is string, only then print it. Okay, so I would like that kind of experiment on you to be done. आप ये सब खुद करके देखिए. Like, you know, I just want the numbers to be printed. How would I come to know is I a number or I a string? Check the data type. Am I right? Fine. If the data type is equal to integer, then only print it. Or if it is equal to string, then only print it. Something like that. I hope people are understanding. Clear? How about dictionary? Dictionaries have some formalities. Say this is my dictionary called as profile. Dictionary have some formalities, people. For example, this is a name of the person, Raj. Next surname, and that is Kumar, Raj Kumar. Okay, the skills he knows are, because I know more than one skill. Okay, because Raj knows more than one skill, let me create the skill as a set of data. Say Python, something Node, and React. Okay, as of now I mentioned just 2-3 of them. That's it. 3 name value pairs. Am I right? So this is a name value pair, this is a name value pair, or let me say key value pair, and this is also key value pair. Okay, now to your surprise, when you make a loop to iterate over this structure like this for I in profile, first of all, just try to print this entire profile. You look how the output looks like. It's so uncomfortable. You look this way. Okay, so if this way I print it on a web page, you know, if this way say Amazon displays my shopping cart, you understood? Say product number 1 pen, purchase total 2 in quantity. ऐसा डिक्शनरी में आएगा, ग्राफिक्स में नहीं आएगा, टेक्स्ट बॉक्सेस में नहीं आएगा, no color effect, and also it would look so, you know, pathetic for end user to get adapted to the web page. Correct or not? Alright, fine. So let me first get this data segregated out. So how do I do that? Let me do this way. For I in profile, who is a dictionary, print I. Okay, now to your surprise, what you expected an output and how it is actually, I is printed, the dictionary is printed, but unfortunately only the keys of the dictionary. Am I right? I repeat the point again. For loop iterates by default only upon the keys of the dictionary. It is never going to consider the values. Right? So if you want value to be displayed, you can try one thing. Okay, say for I in not profile, profile.values. Okay, you know, see, I'm running this line number 39. Okay, I'm running this line number 39. Print profile. Okay, so the profile is been printed. Fine, but if I say print profile.keys, alright, so all the keys from the dictionary is printed, but this is in the form of list, correct? So this is called as list of keys. So similarly, if I try to print values, so this is going to be the list of values, am I right? You see Raj Kumar and the skills that he knows. So this is a list of values. So basically you are this time iterating I over this list rather than a dictionary, correct? If somebody can please put me this point as an acknowledgement in the chat section. We are not iterating upon the dictionary this time. I'm iterating I upon the values of the output of profile.values. Yes, Navin. Okay, type function, type of that particular element like this. Okay, in between I'm answering Navin's question like 1 minute. We know tuples are subscripted, correct? So if I say print t of 0, so it prints me 1. But if I say print the type of t of 0, people, print the type of t of 0, what does it print? It prints integer, correct? So this is how you can individually check them. Okay, thank you, Rakesh. Right, now Navin, I hope your question is answered this time. Okay, and simply we're checking, and it, like if type is equal to something integer, all right, integer, if it is equal to, of course not print outside but if statement outside. I comment this as I don't need it. ठीक है, चलिए काम की बात पहले. So for I in profile dot values, I'm printing I. If I could run this, okay, so this time not the keys but all the values have been printed. Alright, why dictionary using a keyword? Which keyword, Gaurav? Which keyword you're talking about? If you are a little more clear in the question, we would be in a state to answer. Okay? Take it. By the time he replies us back, guys, I have a doubt here. So, but what if I want to print both keys and value? Okay, what if I want to print both keys and value? Right? So, instead of values here, if I take items. Okay, first check what is the output of profile.items. Okay, so these are the three functions. Look, forget about the above code. As one of our friend is asking, what is this keyword? Gaurav, see, dictionary stores data in the form of key value pair. Okay, question answer. That's called as a key value pair. Key, colon, value. Again, surname is a key, colon, value. Or for example, I am working on a hotel management software, and if I want to prepare a menu card, okay, now menu card, I don't prefer it to be a list or a set, because this will not give me facility to store data this way. Okay, Gaurav, answer to your question. Set, tuple, list or an array isn't going to give me a facility to store the data this way. Okay, for example, say name or dish name or an item name. Okay, so this is going to be my item name. These are the different items we sell. So some of them are breakfast item, some of them are lunch item, okay, and so on. Some of them are, say, dessert kind of items. Okay, then I want to store the type of this item, like they're veg or they're non-veg. So my another key is going to be type. Okay, this is going to be type. So the first one is of the type, for example, say veg. Okay, now I'm writing in short, you assume that. Say I'm writing here non-veg, NV for non-veg. This is again, let me say, consider it as a veg. Right? Uske baad mein third key value pair maybe I end up making as a price. Okay, colon, and say the price of each of these three products, say 100, 200, 300. Okay, I'm just randomly writing them. Okay, so these are, there is no keyword over here. My friend, there is no keyword here. These all keywords in fact have been made by us. Okay, so this way to store data, the facility isn't provided by any other construct or the data structure, correct or not? Right, so this is one reason why would we prefer dictionary. But if you're preferring dictionary, you look now. Okay, you look now. If I say print menu card, this looks so ugly in the output. It prints the entire card this way. But if I say print menu card dot keys, it's going to print only who are the keys in this card, like item name, type and the price. Are you getting it? Is that okay? These are the keys. But if I want to print the values of these keys, so let me say menu card dot values this time, menu card dot values. So okay, so this is a list of all the values, correct? Say the first one was item names, second one was item types, and the third one were item prices. But my other objection to you was, in the end, what if I want to print both? So let me say profile, not profile, I think menu card, right? Menu card dot items. Okay, because see, how will it work? It is not going to print key value as key colon value. Rather, a key value pair is displayed as a list of tuples here. Okay, I hope the question is answered, because yeah, thank you. Okay, fine. So this is shown to you as a list of tuples. So now if I run my for loop counter over this output profile.items, that means we are not running the for loop in a dictionary. Rather, we are running the for loop in this list which was written as output of this command, correct? Fine. So that's what I'm saying. If I just write profile, which is name of the dictionary, it returns only keys. If I write dot keys, it again return keys. If I write dot values, it return just values. So what if I want both key as well as value? Make use of profile dot items. Okay, fine. So this is how we get an output. First key value pair in a loop we are printing name Raj. Second key value pair so and so, surname Kumar, and the third key value pair the list of skills. I hope you got my point here. Is that okay? All of us here. Fine. So this is how we saw how could we execute, how could we make our loops to iterate over these kind of data structures. Alright people, I just would like to share one thing with you here. One thing, pay attention. This is how we started, right? This was my list. I run this piece of code again, and if I say print A, all the elements got printed, but it looks like a list. I want these elements on a same line, without commas, without square bracket, or in a different line, whatever. Right? So I simply run my loop here, and the loop says for every I in A, print that I. Okay, this is a little tricky point. For some of you who are very new might find it a bit confusing as well. So pay attention please. Okay, so I think all the 10 elements got printed here. Is that fine? All the 10 elements have got printed here. This is one way. Other way to print all the element, that is even using the range function. Okay, range function, but this time I start range function from 0 to the length of A. Okay, what's going to be the length of A? Come on, if there are total 10 elements, the length of A is going to be 10, correct? Is that okay? So if I say print length of A, okay, it tells me 10. That means basically we are running the loop from 0 to 10. If I could write this part in a comment here, that is range from 0 to 10. So the last number which is valid over here is 9. Am I right? Now this is going to be treated as an index numbers. Okay, so because if you say sorry, if you say just print I, you see it's going to give an output, a data which is not going to make sense, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But if I say hurry up, don't print I, instead print A of I. So this time you are printing values in the list using for loop with the help of index numbers. Okay, if somebody could acknowledge you understood this concept or not. This time you are printing values in the list A with the help of its index number, which was passed as a subscript in the square bracket. Right? So what will happen? Could you give me the dry run again? In loop number 1, the first value of I is going to be 0. The first value of I is going to be 0. Is 0 less than 10? Yes, it is. Condition is true. So print A of I. That means print A of 0. Correct? Pretty good. Thank you. Good. Similarly, in the next loop, I will be incremented by 1 and 1 is less than 10. Print A of I. That means A of 1. So this is another way of printing values from the list. This can be experimented even upon your tuples, because tuples also have index numbers. But this cannot be experimented upon your dictionaries and sets because they are not ordered. Hoping people are understanding. Is that okay? Fine. So two ways you can print the data from the list, either using the list name directly or with the help of range function and making it work till the length of the structure. Is that okay? All of us here, good, thank you. Now, the next important part from the loop that we will learn today is, people, say I created one blank list. Okay, let me say X, and X is a blank list. I want around 5 values to be stored in this list, but I don't want to hard code them like this. I said I don't want to pehle se in advance hard code them. I want these values to be taken as input from the user. Okay, so if you could print X just, it says this is an empty list. So let's see how to take 5 different values as input from the user and insert in the list. So let me say for I in range, because I want to take 5 values from the user, let me run this list from 0 to 5. It will go till 4, and 0 to 4 will make a total count of 5 only. Is that correct? So let me take a data this way. Data is equal to input. I'm converting that data into integer. Input, enter a number. Okay, let me run the loop till here. Fine. So it's asking me enter a number: 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you see something, every time you accepted a number, the variable data got overwritten, correct? Value is present in data, but if you print X again, it is still empty. So what is missing in this code? After accepting the value, I need to push that particular value in my array. And who better than append or insert can do it, correct? So let me say x.append data. Send the two-way of loop, ma'am, after the class. Yes, of course, okay. I'm going to share this entire file with you. You will find it, okay? Right, so in the first iteration, you look what's happening here. I'm accepting the value from the user, storing it in variable data. After accepting a value from the user, I'm storing it in variable data. And whatever is present in this variable data, I'm making it to append in X. Append will always add the data in the last position. Because the array was empty, the last position is the first only, that is 0. So the first number will be added at position number 0. After 0, the next empty position will be 1. So the next value will be added at position number 1. After 0 and 1, the next vacant position will be index number 2. So the next data item will be added at index number 2. Hoping you are understanding. Correct? So let's check it now. Fine. And if I could print X this time, 1 minute. Okay, enter a number. Say 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, and so on. If I could say print X. Okay, so X is not empty this time, but X is a list of these 4, 5 values. But these values were not hard-coded well before the program. Or well inside the program. These values were in fact taken as input from the user. Okay, would be glad if somebody could acknowledge us in the chat section. Is this concept clear or not? Okay, is this concept of accepting this way you can even accept data in a set. Am I right, people? You can even accept, because dot add is a function that works for set, correct? You can even accept some values of the key in a dictionary using loop. Yeah, but for a tuple we can't accept the data because it is immutable. Okay, shall be waiting for your acknowledgement in the chat section. Is this part clear or not? All of us here. Okay? Alright, now the last part of the lecture today. Thank you. Okay, good. Last part of the lecture today, that is understanding the 3 special keywords used in loops by Python. And that is continue, break, and the pass keywords. Okay, those who are here with us right from our JavaScript days might be aware of these usage of these keywords. Let's start with them one by one. Okay, so the first one that we are using here is a break. Break is an emergency exit, people, remember. Okay, break in loops is an emergency exit. Okay, that means it's an alarm signal you want to come out of the loop under any condition. So let's see how does it work with a simple example. Say A is a list of some values. Okay, say 10, 34, 55. Let me say it is sorted in ascending order. 87, 91, 130, 145, 190, 200, 250. Is that okay? Fine. I just want to print only those values here who are less than 150. Okay, who are less than 150. So how do I do? There are different ways you can code it. One way is using break. So say for I in A, okay, if I is greater than 150, people break. Okay, break means what? Come out of the loop. Okay, do not run the remaining iterations, suspend the for loop, come out and run the rest part of the program then. Is that okay? Run the rest part of the program. I hope people are understanding here, right? Otherwise, continue to print I. Okay, so let's see what output it gives here. How does it work? If I could run this loop. Alright, so the final number which got displayed is 145. Because after 145 the I read and initialized was 190 and 190 is greater than 150. So we give a break, which is an emergency exit. Come out of the loop. No need to run the rest part of the loop. Okay, so that's what break does. It's an exit criteria from the loop. So once that condition meets or it is fulfilled, the rest part of the loop will not be executed, rather it will be suspended and you will be brought out of the loop. आप ये prison से बाहर आ जाएंगे, जैसे इस जेल से छुटकारा मिल गया. That would be the meaning to say. Hoping you are understanding, right? Now let's take another condition. Okay, let's take another condition where I have one more list here. Say B is a list, or let me not take any list. I want to print all the numbers from 1 to 10 except 5. Okay, I repeat the point again. I want to print all the numbers from 1 to 10 except 5. So look what I do. For I in range 11 because I want to consider 10. So upper limit I have taken one higher or one more. Check the condition. If I is equal to 5, suppose if you give break here. Okay, suppose if you give break here. Are you understanding what is the meaning of print I? See, in the above loop also, only if this condition is true, give a break. But if this condition is not true, we are printing I. Am I right? So this is a part of the for loop still continued after if. Alright, if you are confused, you look, there's a syntax I've mentioned in my Word file. That's the document shared with you yesterday. Okay, where it is, here we go. Break. Okay, check, this is a syntax. Okay, while, okay, let me use it with for if you are confused. Acha, I have written here with while only, never mind. While or for, whatever is a loop, the code goes here. But if another condition meets, we give a break and come out. Understood? The code goes here or the code goes here. Both the places valid. Either bhi chalega. Or even if you write it here, then also it is fine. Okay? Here we go. Okay? Fine. So this is how it is practically working. Alright. Coming back to the point here. So again, if I is equal to 5, give a break, but then this will be a risk because let the code work. Let the code work. Okay, so the moment I becomes 5, we came out of the loop only. Am I right? Break means what? Do not continue with the rest part of the loop, but the rest part of the loop had print I, correct? ब्रेक के नीचे भी और स्टेटमेंट था. देयर वर मोर स्टेटमेंट्स फॉलोइंग ब्रेक, बट बिकॉज ब्रेक इज एन इमरजेंसी exit, I was forced to come out and never that part got executed. right? So this time instead of break we are using the keyword continue, because continue don't bring you out from the complete loop, it brings you out only of the current iteration. Is that okay? Continue doesn't bring you out, forcefully gives you an exit from the loop itself, rather it brings you out only from the current iteration. That means when I was 1, when the loop started and I was 1, is 1 is 5? No. So I got printed. Am I right? I becomes 2, is 2 5? No. I becomes 3, is 3 equal to 5? No. I becomes 4, is 4 equal to 5? No. I becomes 5, is 5 equal to 5? Yes. Continue means what? Leave this particular or leave this present iteration, इसको छोड़ दो, इसके नीचे जो भी कोड प्रेजेंट है, वॉट एवर कोड इज प्रेजेंट बिलो कंटिन्यू, नीड नॉट टू एग्जीक्यूट, लीव दैट इज व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ कंटिन्यू. Instead directly jump to the next iteration. Okay, this current chakkar, people, this current loop or the iteration should be left, move on to the next one. That's continue. Okay, so let's see how the output goes here in case if it is continue instead of break. So 1 2 3 4 5 is missing from here, because when I was 5 we said leave that loop. If that loop was not left, print I would have made 5 to print, but unfortunately because that loop was discontinued, 5 could never be printed. Is it okay? Alright, all of us are fine. So that's the difference between break and continue. Break gives you forceful exit from the complete loop, the remaining part of the loops will not be executed. Break, only the current iteration has been exited. Fine. And the third case is when we write pass. You look how strange the output is here. If I write pass, let's do ulta, that means opposite. Let's check the output this time and then learn how it works. So if I is equal to 5, pass. Check the output. It's running, give it time, it's running. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So nothing was missed to be printed, correct? In this output there was no member was missed to be printed. I hope you got my point. Even 5 got printed. Okay, what is the English meaning of the word pass? Ideally we use in games like pass. Okay, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to say anything. Pass, that means go to the next one. Even over here the pass have the same meaning applicable. If I is 5, do nothing, like go ahead. You understand? Ideally we write pass when we don't have the suitable action to be taken in that condition. Understood? And say we want to decide in the future what is to be done. You got my point? Say this cannot be left blank. If I leave it blank, this is going to give me an error. Okay, look, I run this. If I leave it blank, this is going to give me an error. But there is something to be done when I is 5, but that something is not known in advance right now. Understood? When this program was been getting coded, so that something the programmer himself or herself is not aware in that condition what is to be done, but the condition is to be mentioned. आप समझ रहे बात? Fine, the programmer himself or herself is not aware what is to be done in that case if the condition is true. So I even can't leave that blank also. And I don't know what to be done if the condition is true also. So in that case we write pass, means it's okay, leave it, nothing to be done here. Rather than leaving that block blank, we have at least mentioned something in the code that is pass. Is that okay? We have mentioned at least something in the code that is pass. So it makes sense to run now. Okay, so that one thing is clear as of now. By writing pass, there is no break, there is no continued applied here. In fact, nothing happened there. Is that okay? Fine. So generally we use pass when we don't have the proper definition of the action to be taken while coding. Now why we don't have that action to be taken? Maybe we will have that data incoming after some time. Is that okay? We will be having the data coming in after some time. Is that okay? Say I want to print the run rate of a team who's playing the cricket match right now. Okay, but the team B ka run rate I can't print well in advance when the team A is playing. I hope you're understanding my point. When the team A is playing the match, how can I print the run rate of team B? But I definitely want this score to be printed on the screen, so I leave it pass. Okay, when I have the proper statistical data in my hand, I'll be replacing pass with something that makes sense. Is that okay? All of us here? Fine, would be glad if you could acknowledge to us in the chat section, is this concept of pass also understood or not? Okay, because break and continue, I think we had already worked with JavaScript. All of us here? Fine. Okay, people. For the class today, I have made some assignment questions for you, if you can try. Okay, fine. First of all, write a Python program to count total number of odd numbers and even numbers from the list. Okay, so for example, this is my list. Let me quickly write the code for this. Let me do this part. Okay, number 1. Okay, this was my assignment question 1. Okay, so this is the list. This is the list. Okay, let's say A is only a list. If you don't mind, for some time, can I switch to collab? Wait. Okay, it's still running. Fine, let me run till here then. Okay, by the time collab opens, let's use the slow Visual Studio Code itself. Okay, so A is initialized for I in A. Okay, let me take two variables here and say even is equals to 0 and odd also is equal to 0. They are the two variables, people. For I in A, if I on dividing by 2 gives me output 0, okay, if I divide I by 2 and it gives me output 0, I want to increment even by 1. And suppose if it does not give output as 0, so I would like to increment odd by 1. Is that okay? And finally, when I come out of this loop itself, I want to print total evens. Okay, total even, people. Because even is a variable, so I give comma and I write outside. Is that okay? And I want to print total odd as outside. Hoping people understand. Is that okay? So fine. If it is divisible by 2, increment the count of variable even by 1. Otherwise, increment the count of odd by 1. So let's try. Let me run the code right from here till here. Okay, good. So total evens are 6 and total odds are 5. Okay, you can please count and cross check. That part I leave it up to you. Okay, just let's see for even. 1, 2, right? 3, 4, 5 and 6. Correct. So evens are total 6. That's what it has mentioned there. That's okay. All of us? Okay, so that's how the first question is asking you. Then again, write a Python program to count the number of strings where the length is 2 or more than that, and even the first and the last character from a string. Okay, fine. And the first and the last character are same, like this, people. length of the string also should be more than 2, and the first and the last character should be same. So I leave it up to you, please form the logic. See, even this is a string because it is written in code. The length is more than 2, first and the last character or the letter is same goes here as well. Okay, so the total count is such 3. Fine, try to give your hands on. Okay, look, this one is interesting. This is a string hello world, and you have to count and form a dictionary how many times each letter of the string appears. Okay, so hello in the string appears 1, E appears again 1, L has appeared total 3 times, O has appeared 2 times, this way D has appeared total 1 time. Okay, fine, try. If you cannot, then I'll see how can I help you by tomorrow. Okay, now this is a list of tuples that contains information about the different batsmen and the runs they have scored. You have to find the total score. Are you getting a total score? I give you one hint. Make use of an index number, people. Okay, make use of an index number. Right? Say the index number 1 or -1 here is having the scores, correct? Every second index of the tuple in the list. Right? So 100 plus 80 plus 27 plus 34 is actually the total score. And also create a list of batsmen who have scored more than 50. Are you understanding? Correct? List of batsmen who have scored more than 50. So Mr. Kohli and Mr. Sharma, this will be the 2 members of the list. Is that okay? So that's another program. Fine. Give your hands on, see if you can do it. Take care. Okay, good. This is easier, I think. Display numbers which are divisible by 5. And also if the number is greater than 150, stop the loop. That means it should be divisible by 5 also, and check the condition. If it is more than 150, I think you need to use break here. Is that okay? You need to use a break here. Fine. Okay. You have to create a list of numbers between 20 to 50 who are all prime. Okay. I give you one hint. See if you can make use of for else loop. Okay. For else loop. Try. Okay. All of us. Take care. 7th one. You go ahead. You can do it. You can't. Let me know tomorrow. Iteration over the dictionary and generate expert by switching keys. Okay, this is another interesting. Like you have to switch the keys and values with each other. Like A, apple, B, banana, but expected output is apple, A, banana, B, mango, M, grapes, G. Okay, this file I'll be sharing right after the class ends today. Make sure that you find some time out from your busy schedule. If you're attending the classes, understanding the concept, writing the program and getting an output as a self-practice is also necessary. Okay, what is Shreyas asking? Then why do we need pass? Okay, let me send the attendance sheet here so that people can sign the attendance who are waiting. Okay, alright, Shreyas, pass. Why do we need pass? We get the same output if we don't. No, Shreyas, no. The thing is what, sometimes we just want to write the condition, but we don't want to take any action. You understood? Condition is to be provided there. Are you getting it? I can't leave that if statement blank. Where is that piece of code gone? Where is that piece of code gone? Hold on. Okay, it's working a bit slow. Could you see? Look, this is an error actually given to me here. This is an error. Like, how can you leave this blank? You understood? How can you leave this blank? But you try to understand my problem as well. I don't have as of now any action to be taken if that goes true. Alright, so the best way to come out is like pass. I don't have any code to write now. So excuse me. That is what is the meaning of pass here. Okay ma'am. So we update it with some condition in the future. Yes, absolutely. You got my point? We are going to update it with some condition in the future. And what will be that future? It's a real-time data. Okay. So I don't know well in advance what is going to be the share prices of tomorrow, or maybe what is going to be the temperature data of tomorrow, or what's climate values sensor is going to read tomorrow. Am I right? I don't know the longitude, latitude, GPS is going to return me if I travel at some place. So this is all a real time data. Maybe based on when this data will occur or it will happen, I'll be in a state to write the code here. Okay, ma'am, can you please explain X? What is that, Navin? What exactly is that? I mean, this way. X is equal to this way. This is a blank list. Okay, if you're asking me, so this is a blank list, and if I say print X, so it is printing a blank list. Okay, it is printing a blank list, and if I want to insert something in X, so let me say X dot append, say 30, and if I again print X, so X is no more blank. X is no more blank now, it is 30. Navin, I'm answering your question only, Navin. Yes, Navin, I'm answering your question itself. Okay, this is what I understood from your query. If this is the same thing you asked me. Opening closing curly bracket is nothing but just creating the blank list. Is that fine? Creating a blank list. Is that what you're asking or still confused? Let me know. I'm waiting here for a moment. If that's what you are asking, or you want me to explain you a little more detail. Okay. That's not. Alright, then what exactly? Fine. Then let me know your question so that I better understand. Others, okay, print from user and to append. Okay, you want to know how to print it from the user and then append. Fine, let me show you that. Okay, let me show you that. I'm showing you with the help of both list also and a set also. Okay, people, there is no new topic we are doing here, others. This is, I'm just solving his doubt. Tomorrow I'm going to meet you with the next topic, that is functions. Okay, if you are here connected with us in our WhatsApp group, I've sent the entire schedule of Python that is upcoming. ठीक है, चलो ऐसे शुरू करते हैं. Say X is a list, and if I say print X, it prints a blank list. Okay, let me write it in the end. Let me write this in the end. Okay, fine. So append are the full value in a variable are empty. Yes, only if yeah, otherwise you can make use of insert also, Gaurav. Okay, no, but there no need of all the values are empty. Even if the list is filled, append is going to push in the end, so that is not going to disturb even if the list is not empty. Gaurav, are you getting it? Okay, so suppose I want 5 different values in the list. Okay, so for I in range 0 to 5. Okay, 0 to 5 or 1 to 5, the choice is yours. You want to write 1 to 5, but if I write 1 to 5, it is going to take only 4. Is that okay? Fine. So let me take data in A. A is equals to, take an input from the user. Let's say enter a number. This is an input, and whatever number the user has inputted, we would like to append it inside X. Correct? Appended inside the X. So let's try it works or not. Good, it's working. So enter a number, say 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. So now if you print x is not empty, which x was created empty, but now it has got values filled inside using the function append. Is that okay? Consider this time y is a set, but it's an empty set. Okay, so I say print y. Okay, so let me run these 2 lines of code. Print y. Yeah, but y is an empty set. Okay, so I want 5 different blood groups to be stored in this set. 5 different blood group values. So how do I do that? For I in range, again 1 to 6, because I want 5 values. Okay, say blood group group is equals to, take an input from the user. This time you don't have to convert it to integer because it's a string data. Okay, it's a string data. Enter your blood group. Okay, and whatever blood group is been blood group, people, this is the spelling I wrote wrong here. And whatever blood group the fellow, he or she, my user enters, I want y dot add. Okay, because y is a set, append isn't going to work here, insert isn't going to work here, add is a function. What do you want to add? Value stored in the variable blood group. Yeah, blood group, correct? Let's see it works or not. Okay, enter your blood group. So the first guy enters, blood group is O positive. Okay, O positive. Okay, the thing is what, because I created it blank, it is considering it as a dictionary. Okay, so just for my program to run, I enter some value inside. Just for that program to work. Later on I'll delete it or convert that y into dictionary, set first. Okay, so this is O positive, this is B negative, again B negative, this time AB positive, and this time again O positive or negative, whatever. Okay, so now if I print y, you see my set is not empty, rather it is with these all values. Thank you, bye. Yeah. Okay, my friend, the problem was what, because I created it as a blank set, it considered it as a dictionary, not a set. You remember the default point of conclusion that day? A blank opening closing curly bracket by default is always a dictionary, and the add functions only work for set. You can do one thing in that case, type convert that blank set from dictionary to set first. Anyways, but I hope the question is answered now. This is how the values are added, whether it is a set or it's a dictionary. Is it okay? Navin, now clear? Question clear now? Okay guys, fine. Goodbye, take care, see you back tomorrow. Once again, please keep practicing. Bye bye.